What if you had a key to accelerating your career? That's valuable information for anybody who wants to contribute at a higher level. Hi, this is Greg Kaiser again with Management Mastery. In our last episode, we talked about types of management: executive, administrative, and operational. That's one way to understand organizations. Today, we're going to look at organizations in a different way. And this works for any organization. I call this the business leadership ladder. That's what's on the screen. I also like to cover 4 useful pieces of information in each episode: a model, a question to ask, a recommended book, and a story to tie it together. Let's run through those 4 items right now. Number 1, a model to memorize and revisit. Today we have 2 models: the leadership ladder and the input process output flowchart. Number 2, a question to distinguish yourself in meetings. We have another daily double here. These aren't throwaway questions. Answering them is going to take serious brain power from your entire team. A, how can we improve the work of the team that we hand off work to? B, how can we improve the inputs that our work depends on? Number 3 on our list, a book that defines a core concept. I don't talk explicitly about this book recommendation, but it exemplifies what we're going to talk about. The book is High Output Management by Andy Grove of Intel fame. The whole book is fantastic. Put this on your must-read list. Oh, and by the way, Intel misses Andy Grove's leadership. And then finally, a story to clarify complex, unfamiliar, or new ideas. Everybody loves Legos, right? Unless maybe you step on one in your bare feet. This is a very short story about the input process output model we're going to cover today. Back in the early 2000s, Lego brought in a new CEO, and he applied the input process output model across the entire organization. By 2015, Lego was recognized as the world's most popular brand. That's hard to do. Now, please mentally shift back to what's on the screen. Why is today's episode important to you? Learning rules for climbing the leadership ladder is how you accelerate the climb. Let's take this one level at a time to make sure we're on the same page. Individual contributor. You don't have any direct reports, and you report to a manager. Move up one rung, managing functional activities. Functional activities are things like accounts receivable manager, manager of a single part of a sales department, the Chicago sales manager, for instance, a retail store manager. You get the picture. At this level, you have a team reporting to you. On the next rung, you're managing managers. These managers have their own set of direct reports. Now, here's a caveat. This looks different depending on the size of your organization. You might have the title manager or director or vice president or chief something or the other. The top rung of the ladder is managing an enterprise. There's only one role at the managing an enterprise level, the chief executive officer. We'll come back to that in just a minute. What are the rules for moving up the rungs? Let's take this level by level too. There are ground rules that apply at every level. First, you have to produce results and get recognized for producing those results. Next, you have to demonstrate that you already know how to think and act like you're at the next level up. And finally, you have to communicate that you understand how the results you and your team produce add to the organization as a whole. Here's how you exceed expectations on every rung of the ladder. This is a simple flow chart. Here's something that's even more simple. You have to do the work. The work is different at every level. So let's make this personal. As an individual contributor, that means meeting and exceeding your job requirements. When you're managing a function, you need recognition from everybody you interact with. Your function has to be recognized for excellence. When managing managers, you need recognition that your managers and your results are superior. When managing an enterprise, economic results are always number one. And I said we were going to come back to the CEO. The CEO job is just so much bigger. That means a CEO needs to constantly answer a series of questions. Does the strategy we developed give the organization a sustainable competitive advantage? How do I know my team demonstrates excellence? Are my relations with the board of directors collegial, productive, and forward-focused? What is our organization's reputation? What is the trend of our organization's reputation? Now that I think about it, those would be excellent questions to ask your CEO the next time you get some face time. So how does the upwardly oriented manager do all these things? Following the steps on this page is conceptually simple. As a practical matter, it's a lot of work. Now, maybe you learned how to play an instrument, say the guitar or the piano at some point. You had to practice chord progressions or scales a million times. Seamless transitions make beautiful music. You don't just show up at Carnegie Hall and wing it. You get a coach to teach you. As a manager, you're lucky. You get to practice with your team. Here's a tip. Get your team physically involved. Get them up at a whiteboard and tear ideas apart. Make the ideas better, like those 2 questions we asked. Managing the handoffs and transitions is a soft skill. The managers above you pay attention to how well you work with others. Now you know what to do. Remember to have fun doing it. If you aren't having fun, it's really hard to maintain the effort required for as long as it's going to take. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please share it and subscribe to our channel. Keep in touch. We regularly post content on LinkedIn. Scan the QR code in the lower left-hand corner, and check out our website. Scan the QR code in the lower right-hand corner for some great free resources and to find out more about how Management Mastery can help you build skills. See you here for our next episode.